All right, guys, so in this one, this is a shoulder press. Now, this can also correlate over to a machine shoulder press, potentially dumbbells as well, but anything that's plate loaded or locked into position where you have to follow a specific path of movement is probably going to apply to this one as well. So with the shoulder press, there's just two things you have to take into consideration, and that's usually how high the seat is and if you have any shoulder pain. So the two most important things. Now, let's pretend that you're a perfect specimen, you have no shoulder pain whatsoever. Congratulations to you, right? Because I have bad shoulders. Now, if that's the case, your starting position should be pretty much exactly where I am now. So if you're pressing, see how my shoulder's nice and comfortable to start with. If I was too high, or if this seat was all the way up here, see how my shoulder is here, and I have to internally rotate to get my hand into position, all right? That's going to start you off in an uncomfortable position, especially if you have shoulder pain as well. So I don't recommend that. So you want to set the height just to the point. If you were to bring the hands out to the sides, your thumb or your palm should sit pretty much just comfortably on the bottom position without internally rotating. Now, from this position, the normal shoulder press is usually wide grip. So out here, and you're pressing directly up. So straight up to lockout, straight down, all the way to the bottom position. You just do need to be careful. You do want a straight line between the wrist and elbow. So you want that to be stacked from here to here. It might be hard to see from this angle, but you want to try and avoid the elbow being out in this position or the elbow bending out in this position. So if I'm tucked in here, which is a little bit more uncomfortable for me, but if I'm tucked in nice and tight, my elbows have to be under my wrists. If I'm out in this position, I have to get really wide, which usually becomes a chest press movement. So for most people, about just outside shoulder width apart, when you're pressing up, avoid the elbows flaring out in this position. You want to keep it just tucked in, pushing through the palm of the hand. Because this has got a grip handle and it's a machine, I don't mind having the thumb off, pushing straight above the head. All right, straight down, like so. Now, that's if you don't have any shoulder pain. If you have shoulder pain, here is the hierarchy. Start in a neutral position, exact same height. If you can't get to external rotation, which is out in this position, if that causes pain, just to bring your arms into more neutral, which is exactly what this is. Start the process again. So from here, head back as you're pressing up, all the way to the very top. Again, the most important thing is don't let the elbows flare out into this position. That will cause pain. Keep it tucked in close to the body. Elbow straight directly underneath the wrists, straight through the entire movement. Now, if that doesn't cause any pain, amazing, stick with that. If that does, sometimes what can happen is at the very bottom position, it's just too much stretch. So if in this bottom position it causes pain, just take the seat down lower. So for me, especially with my left shoulder, I have to go all the way to the bottom. Does that cause pain? Yes. Does the very bottom cause pain? No, all right? So from here, you're just extending the start position. So I've got about an extra 5 inches compared to before. It was basically starting at about the very top. Now, most people usually get pain in the very bottom position. So if that's the case, just put the seat down as low as you can and then go with a more neutral position. So if I am doing shoulder press, it'd be in this position. And then from there to there, I don't get any shoulder pain. And I'm still getting quite a large range of movement as well. That's pretty much it. This goes for both plate loaded machines as well as pin loaded machines as well. If you have any questions, let me know.